Psytrance kicks are one of the hardest kicks to make in electronic music. I know because it took me 9 years to crack the code. And here's the crazy part, even big artists don't know how to make them properly. They're all just guessing. But today, I'm revealing the exact scientific formula. I've shown you how to make big room kicks using my scientific method, but Psy Trance? That's a whole different beast. The slower pitch down, the complex frequency management, the precise amplitude curves, everything is more difficult. For 9 years, I thought my general kick method would work for all genres, but I was wrong. Psy Trance kicks broke all my rules, and I couldn't figure out why, until I had a breakthrough that changed everything. So let's make a Psy Trance kick at 138 BPM in the key of F. I'm using kick 3, but this works in any kick synthesizer. First, the length. At 138 BPM, 1/8 note equals 217.39 milliseconds. Still keeping the 1/8 like big room, but the slower pitch curve means we're using every millisecond of that time. This gives the sine wave enough time to properly reach the fundamental without rushing. Now for the pitch curve, leftmost point at 20,000 Hz, maximum click for that Psy Trance attack. Rightmost point at F1 43.65 Hz, our fundamental. But here's where the magic happens with the two middle points. At the 2048 mark, that's 0.849 milliseconds, I place a point at E6, which is 1318.51 Hz. Setting it super early allows us to control the initial attack without having too many high frequencies and making it too harsh. But placing it relatively high gives it enough room to slowly pitch down towards the fundamental. And at the 1/64th mark, 27.18 milliseconds, I place a point at B2, 123.471 Hz. This controls the final pitch down of the kick, and due to its perfect placement right in the sweet spot, it makes the kick's body not too hard and not too soft. Quick pro tip, you can add another point right next to the fundamental, also at F1, but move slightly left from the endpoint. This is for phase alignment with the bass. Since we can't mess with the starting phase positions of either the kick or bass in Psy Trance without destroying the transients, we use this fifth point instead. So keep moving it left from the endpoint until your kick and bass are perfectly aligned in phase. Okay, so here's where my 9-year breakthrough comes in. I discovered that Psy Trance kicks don't follow the same Pro MB threshold rules as other kicks. The slower pitch down means less energy in the 0 to 150 Hz range, so it cannot hit plus 6 dB above threshold like other kicks. So here's the complex amplitude curve. First point at 40% volume on the left. This controls the 7,200 to 20,000 Hz range. Second point at the 2048th mark, 0.849 milliseconds, jump to 100% volume. This handles the 550 to 7,200 Hz range where Psy Trance kicks get their punch. Third point at the 1512th mark, 3.4 milliseconds, drop to 35% volume. This, along with the next point, controls the 150 to 550 Hz range. Fourth point at the 1/64th mark, 27.18 milliseconds, stay at 35% volume. Fifth point at the 1/32nd mark, 54.35 milliseconds, increase to 42% volume. This controls the 0 to 150 Hz fundamentals. And finally, 0% at the end, clean cutoff. But here's an important part. I curved the transition lines between points 2, 3, and 4, and also between points 5 and 6. This creates smooth, nonlinear transitions that help shape the kick's volume nicely. But you can also just add more points in between for more control, instead of curving the lines. Now with Pro MB, you're aiming for different targets than big room. The 3 high frequency bands, 550 to 20,000 Hz, should hit plus 6 dB above threshold as usual. but the 150 to 550 Hz band should hit 0 dB right at the threshold. Due to the slower pitch down, the frequencies in this area are far louder and therefore should be lowered, and the 0 to 150 Hz band should hit -2 dB below threshold. And here's why. Big room kicks, for example, reach these frequencies early and peak at +6 dB in the first 1/16th, but by the 1/16th to 1/8th section, they've naturally decayed to -2 dB. Psytrance kicks don't reach 0 to 150 Hz until that later 1/16th to 1/8th section, so they should match what big room kicks are doing at that same timing point, which is -2 dB. If you force it to +6 dB, you create an unnatural volume spike that clashes with your bass and destroys the mix. This took me 9 years to figure out, because I kept trying to force everything to +6 dB like my general method. Once I accepted that different kicks need different targets, everything clicked. And that's it. One of the most complex kicks in electronic music, made scientifically in under 5 minutes. It's got that punchy psytrance character, proper phase alignment with the bass, and won't destroy your limiter during mastering. While everyone else is guessing and getting harsh, distorted messes, you now have the only scientific method for perfect psytrance kicks. This is knowledge that even big artists don't have. But here's what's even crazier. Hybrid trap kicks break even more rules, and most producers don't know why theirs sound weak. So do you want to know the secret that made my hybrid trap kicks knock? If so, hit subscribe right now, because in the next video, I'm revealing the hybrid trap secret that changed everything.